Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta AGM. My name is Bernice Cicerio-Ampum, and I will be hosting the first hour of this event. The second hour of the event will be hosted by Mrs. Bibatinga. The second hour of this event is also our educational workshop, and this year's topic is sickle cell disease, reproductive health, pregnancy management, and considerations. So I really hope that everybody is able to stay for the full 2 hours because I think it's going to be really, really great. So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 1:01 p.m. And before we go into the formal event, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items. One, as everyone is aware, this is a Zoom meeting, and as such, it is being recorded. By attending, you are agreeing that you are okay with being recorded, so your face, your voice, or anything you type. So I just wanted everyone to know you would have had to have said yes to get in, but not everyone reads everything. This is why I have this reminder. Secondly, when it comes to using the chat box and the Q&A boxes, right now I believe the chat box, it'll be mainly the panelists using it, and the Q&A will be for everybody else who's in attendance. Right now, everyone is muted, and so if you do need to speak at all, please unmute yourself. So the way we are going to do the motions today, because it is an AGM, is that I will read the motion. I will ask for someone to move the motion and someone to second the motion. And then it will come up as a poll question for everybody in attendance to vote on the motion. So for the people who will be moving and seconding, it will be the people in the panelist section. And I need for you to write I move or I second in the box. Now, I'm just counting. Okay, so I do want to confirm that we do have 3 directors here. So we have established quorum for this general meeting. Okay, so the formal event will start now, and we're going to start by listening to O Canada. Okay, so now, Felix, could you please put up the agenda? Okay, so everyone can see the agenda. Are there any amendments or changes to the agenda that anyone can think of at this time? Okay, so if no one has any amendments or changes, I'm going to motion to approve the agenda for the June 12th, 2021 Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta, SCFA AGM as is. Do I have anybody who would move that motion?
I move the motion.
Okay, so Hannah, thank you. And who seconds the motion?
I can second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Turner. Okay, so Felix, can you put up the polling question for everyone to vote, please? Oh,
It's polling is now closed.
okay. Okay, thank you, everybody. So some of the people that are in attendance today would have received an email, I believe on Tuesday, directing you to look at the AGM meeting minutes from last year, and also to look at the old bylaws. And so those people who have reviewed the AGM meeting minutes from last year, is there anybody who has any changes or any questions with regard to the August 15, 2020 AGM meeting minutes? No, nobody has anything? Okay. So I'm going to motion to approve the meeting minutes from the August 15th, 2020 Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta, SCFA AGM as distributed. Sorry. Do I have someone who will move that motion? Okay, thank you, Dr. Walren. Do I have anybody who will second the motion? Thank you, Biba. Okay, and so now it is going to go up in a poll for everybody else in attendance to vote. Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, so at this time, we were to have the Honorable David Shepherd, but I don't know if he's in attendance. Does anyone see him? No? Okay, so with that then, we will move on to okay. With that then, we will move on to the President's message and the financial report from last year. So I'd like to call on Dr. Jean Walrand, who is the current president of the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta. Dr. Walrand? Oh, Felix, I think she needs you to put up her presentation.
The PowerPoint, and also our
Ooh.
Hello?
Jean, you're frozen.
Her internet cut out. She'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. So since we don't know when Jean will be back on, Biba, I wonder if you'd like to send the greetings from the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Canada while we're waiting for Jean to reconnect.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, and I know it order-wise, it reads better with Jean going first, but just time-wise, if we just continue. Thank you.
I hope I can share my screen because I'm gonna need to do that.
I can share a screen for you.
Oh, you do have my presentation, right?
Yeah.
Yes, please do. Thank you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me today. You know, it's always a pleasure and an honor to be in Alberta. On behalf of the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Canada, I'm going to bring greetings, and I wanted to do it differently by, giving you also a small update on the state of sickle cell in Canada. Next slide, please. As you all know, ACDAC is quite young. It was just funded way after, the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta. It was in 2012 when we realized that there was a need to advocate at the federal level. And as you can see, the map is almost red. We are just missing a few places, which is like Saskatchewan, the province of Saskatchewan, where we don't have a member group. Everywhere where you see red, we have a member group or a collaborator. And I'm very pleased I'm here today because the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta is a member group of ACDAC, and that's why we have Alberta and the Northwest Territories included. We work in collaboration with our member groups. What they can do provincially, they do it on their own. And when they need our support, we come and we work together. And you're gonna see at the end what we are doing with your organization. Next. So the state of sickle cell disease in Canada. As you all know, sickle cell is a painful, debilitating disease. And when we talk about sickle cell, because of the internet, you saw so many great news, things going, you wonder, well, then that means now things are better now. People are getting a better care. Well, let me tell you something. What they are having at this time in Canada, antibiotics, painkillers, anti-inflammatory, vaccines, hydroxyurea, which was a cancer drug and has been used, that they've been using for sickle cell disease, blood transfusion. Yes, but with a high risk, of the iron overload and also the hemolytic transfusion reactions. And also, of course, there is a cure for sickle cell because there is bone marrow transplant. But, that cure is only available for it's proposed for less than 10% of the population. So it's very small. So it leaves us to say that we've been left with supportive care. Sickle cell care is supportive care. It's only supportive care, and it's not enough because at this time, in this era, we are going into a new phase when it comes to the treatment of sickle cell. As you all know, in 2017, there was Andari, a new drug specifically dedicated for sickle cell disease, was approved by the US FDA. Then at the end of 2019, November 2019, we had two new drugs, approved by the US FDA. And recently in May, a fourth one, specifically targeting sickle cell disease, was approved by the US FDA. None of these 4 drugs are available in Canada. What you are still left is what is on this slide here. So next, please. That's where our role is important as patient group, as a community, as family, as people dealing with sickle cell disease. Our role is to advocate, to help the physicians who are working tirelessly, to treat us, better the quality of life of people living with sickle cell disease. This is one of the drugs from GBT, Global Blood Therapeutics, Oxbrita, that is available. We are in a new era, but that new era has not started in Canada until we get more treatment option, because one drug treating everybody, it's not enough. We need a basket so that the physician can work better with the patient, to make sure that they get the best treatment for everyone. So until then, as patient group, we have to focus on what we have. And one of the things that we have is, the blood. And this is where our role is very important. And the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta has been focusing on that for a long time, to get diverse community to donate blood, to get them to come and support. And as you all know, Dr. Jean Wallen has made it, a life mission to research, on the reason why and all the barriers that are there, to prevent blood donation from diverse community. And I'm not going to go into detail into the PFL number that we have this collaboration with CDS. I think she will in her presentation, but it's important that we support people living with sickle cell disease if we can by donating blood. And that's why, next slide, please. Talking with Dr. Jean and all the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta team, we realized that there was work to do. With your project that you've been working on, the Pin Size app, we have to make it nationwide. That app has to be done. And when it's done, every single person, every single young Black person who identifies as Black from the second generation should be able to use that app and, and become a blood champion for sickle cell. And now we ask ourselves, how do we recruit and maintain lifelong blood donors among the second generation of Black youth? Why these young people are not donating blood? Why? Is it because they don't know about sickle cell? Is it because they don't have the information? And then we start talking, and we put together this research project that is the first pan-Canadian social research on blood donation for sickle cell disease. And I'm very, very, very happy and pleased to report that we've got some funding, this year, and we've been working on it for a few weeks now. We have a community advisory committee that we are very proud of that has the pan-Canadian representation. And of course, the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta has been very instrumental into putting this together and then conducting this research project. As you can see at the bottom, we have your organization, ACDAC, CBS at the table working hand by hand. And I can't wait to see the result that will come out of that. So as we stand today, when we look at the state of the care of sickle cell disease, we have a lot of work to do. As a community, we need to come together as one. We need to work as one. And every time I tell people that you need to work, they think that, okay, we need them to come, and be sitting at a table and just losing maybe their independence or getting all the directive for the national. That's not what we meant. When we say that ACDAC is a national umbrella, what we need to do is to set priorities together and work on them at the same time, look in the same direction. Just imagine what happened with the pandemic. I hope everybody has been watching. When this C-19 pandemic hit, the whole world did the same thing. We shelter, wash our hands, we distance ourselves from others, we wait for the vaccine, and now we are all getting the vaccine. Only Bernice has not done it yet, but I hope she will right after this meeting. What happened now? We have a solution. The world is reopening. People are happy. We're getting back to our activities. That's what we need to do in the sickle cell community. Come together. If Canada, everywhere on June 19, we all stand and say the same thing. We need these new drugs to come to Canada. We need newborn screening everywhere in Canada. We need standard care for sickle cell. It will happen. Because democracy, it's about the number, and we have the number. Next, please. So I would like to thank you for your attention, for your time today. And I would like to invite you all to also join us on June 19 to June 25th. We are launching a national hydration campaign. And you will ask yourself, well, what's the relationship? Well, as I said, we only have supportive care, renovating blood, antibiotics, vaccine, but one of the key things in sickle cell is hydration. The physicians are always telling their patients, hydrate, 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 it helps. So we decide, well, until they start taking, our needs into consideration, let's do what is simple to do. Let's hydrate and stay healthy. Let's educate our community. Let's raise awareness, and help also the caregivers educate the people living with sickle cell disease. We're going to be sharing a lot of information. We're going to even have a webinar on June 25th about the best ways to hydrate, natural ways to stay healthy with sickle cell. So join us. And I'm going to end this by congratulating you on your 20th anniversary. I'm not going to talk before the president. I will let her talk first. And thank you so much for your time and attention. And thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Viva. Thank you for attending. And thank you for the greetings that you brought from National. So we will go back a little bit in the agenda, and I would like to introduce Dr. Jean Walrand, who is the current president of the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta. She is going to be presenting the president's message plus the financial reports. And after Jean presents, we'll have 2 motions to accept the message and the financial reports. Thank you, Jean.
Okay, I don't know if I should be ever touching this computer. Okay, all right. So my name is Dr. Jean Walrand. Most people call me Jean or Miss Jean. Today I'm going to be doing a presentation, and I'm calling it 21st Century Healthcare for Sickle Cell Patients. So it will take the format of an introduction, disclosure, education, patient support, awareness, funding stream, 2021, social media and app presentation, and recognition of the board. I mean, reorganization of the board. Sorry, let's keep going. I became a member of Sickle Cell Foundation in around circa 2004. I want to go back and say it's 2002, but leave it like that. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree, 2 of them, a Master's of Science degree, and a PhD. I am profoundly interested in research and education. I believe that one cannot educate anybody unless you do research. I am passionate about community development. I am a member of many organizations, past and present. I am the recipient of the Service of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Award. I believe I got it because I did my master's and looking at the Carrie West Festival we celebrate in Edmonton. But not only that, I was the president of that organization for 3 years. I also received the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International Paul Harris Fellow Award. And that's the highest award that Rotary gives to people who are really in community in development and who believes in service before self, which is their motto. And I'll just set aside and show you the award that was given to me and let you know that this morning, when I said I was up at 6, it was because I attended, they've got their conference or their annual conference on now. And I was able to attend and hear Dr. Tedros talk about his involvement in Rotary and what Rotary means to him. He only mentioned COVID just to say he got his vaccine, his first vaccine 2 weeks ago. But he went back to speak about the eradication of polio and also the near eradication of polio and the complete eradication of smallpox, diseases that affect humans. So this COVID that we're experiencing right now is just a reiteration of what affects humankind on this planet. Sickle cell anemia has been around for probably longer than that. And I am pleased to say that I'm happy to be involved in doing work with respect to sickle cell anemia. I am the parent of a daughter who has sickle cell anemia. The year 2020 marked a turning point for us. We received an article from the New England Journal of Medicine talking about the disparities in treatment of sickle cell anemia patients. In addition to that, we have been focusing, I'll talk about the disparities in sickle cell patients in a little while. But we were fortunate because as Biba spoke a lot about the blood work that we're doing here, we have been fortunate to eventually connect with CBS and Carleton University, and as Biba said, and we got funding from SHIRK, which allowed us to put forward the name of one of the people who worked with us on the quantitative aspect of the research. And now she's working with them with respect to doing the qualitative part of the research. She is in her 4th year at University of Alberta. And this in itself is something that I'm very proud of, because very few students get an opportunity in their undergraduate to work on a SHIRK project. So the Canada Summer Jobs Program allowed us to hire 9 students. This is in conjunction with the Edmonton Community Foundation Fund. I give a shout out to them, because without them, we would not be able to do the work that we are doing here right now. We have a student from Concordia University, Edmonton, and he is working on the qualitative analysis of the quantitative analysis of the research that we started. Suffice to say that although Biba mentioned that I have been working on this for a long time, which is true, we had to go back now and update our literature review. Well, I cannot tell you how many articles are out there looking at sickle cell anemia, looking at genetic theory, and looking at how we can help sickle cell patients with respect to the blood and tissue donations. So we are going to have a very strong paper in order to convince our community and CBS to put more money into promoting blood donations among visible minorities, in this case, particularly Blacks. I have 4 students who are working on the technology that we hope to bring to the community in order to facilitate that project. Right now, we talk about application research. Now, we are looking for research that would lead to developing some sort of technology, some sort of application where the research will be useful to the community that is being researched. In addition to that, we have another, we were able to get 4 students to do something that was probably unheard of in Edmonton. It's called the Africa, Caribbean, Canadian Books in Color Project. We're doing this in conjunction with the Edmonton Public Library. The students are reading books from African heritage, Caribbean, and African American heritage. And the purpose is to have a K-12 curriculum of books that will be a resource for our community, our teachers, the broader community, and our students. I attend these sessions with them when they discuss the books, and I have to say, I just sit like a fly on the wall. I mute myself, they don't see me. So the students can discuss the books and rank them with a yay or a nay or a maybe, and also have them decide what age group would get most benefits from the books. I'm pleased to say that what I have experienced with respect to this project is amazing. The students many of them say, I wish I had this book when I was in high school. And these students who I have here, I have 2 who just graduated. They're graduating right this year from high school. And I have 2 who are at university level. So it's going to bring a beautiful program to the school system. And the Edmonton Catholic School Board and the Edmonton Public School Board has asked that they come on board to bring it on. What the students are doing right now is blogging about what they're reading, because what we're trying to avoid is this project hitting mainstream and no one knows about it. How does sickle cell fit into this? The library is going to link up this resource to us, and we hope to get the books, sickle cell anemia books, from the American Society of Hematology. I understand that they've got a comprehensive collection, so we can link to that as well. So if teachers, community members, anyone who wants to find out about sickle cell anemia, it now has a platform. Next slide, Felix, please. So these, when the students, what they do, and this is the link here, they post comments about the books that they're reading to on Instagram. The beauty about it is that some of these authors are already tagging us to say thank you, or they like what we're doing. This one here is about Viola Desmond. So the book was written, and one of the students, when she posted her blog, you can see that she's added the $10 bill, showing a relationship between Viola, who's been dead for a little bit more than 50 years now, to the present in our community. So we're trying to make this whole, what we're doing meaningful and inclusive at the same time. And they are enjoying the process, and I am enjoying listening to them. And I wanted to once again shout out to the Edmonton Community Foundation for making these funds available to us, and the Government of Canada, so that we can get this done. It will probably go live, because the students will be finished working in September. It'll probably go live. It will be out this time next year. It will be already in circulation. Next slide, please, Felix. Patient support. This year, we continue to support patients with respect to COVID. The one problem that we have, and we continue to have, is a lack of access to patients, so that they can know that we have these things available for them to access. We used to be able to send out our newsletters in Edmonton via the pediatric and adult stations there. That's no longer available. The Calgary adult patients are still getting our newsletters and our messages. So they were able to take advantage of the funds that we gave out. The culturally relevant food bank is still in operation. We have been so successful with that the government has given us more funding to include all aspects of COVID assistance for people in our community. It's not just available to Blacks, but anyone who can see the website and feel comfortable going there to get psychological help, to get food, anything that they need, they can go to Africa Center, which is the organization that is spearheading it under the name of COVID-19 response, African diaspora response to COVID-19. Advocating for patients, I found my sickle cell had to intervene and get a patient to have access to one of the new drugs because she was having some severe pains and couldn't take the other medications that they had. It's becoming a little bit of a problem for us, and I will touch on it a little later as to what we are trying to do so that the patients don't have to decide between dignity and death. Next slide, please. Awareness. We've had blood drives. One we had in September last year, and it went all the way to October 31st, Halloween. And we had one during Black History Month. For these, we used our local newspapers, Diversity Magazine, and another magazine that came out during Black History Month, and our website. But what we found was that was not very good. people were not responding to it. So obviously, we were missing the point with respect to our advertisements. We propose now to do something that is more, in terms of education, more relative to the Black experience. And we intend to go and do some more advertisement throughout using very different sources of media, because our local community media is not doing the trick. We are also going to continue doing social media awareness, and our target is non-sickle cell anemia patients. We need to get to be able to attract them. Next slide, please. So we came up with this sort of a ad, which talks about two people. You can definitely see that they are Black and brown. We said, and so we've introduced the notion of Charles Drew to educate our community about the importance of blood donation. So here it talks about him developing blood transfusion medicine that was used during World War II, and he was a graduate from McGill University, and that he is Black. So one person is going to say, oh, my brother has an illness and he requires blood every 4 weeks. And so he has indicated here that long ago we couldn't donate blood. And so the discussion goes on where they finally talk about the notion of our DNA and blood donation at the genetic level, and how we've come to the conclusion that everybody's blood is important. And we come back again to Charles Drew to mention that even though he did so much groundbreaking work in the blood transfusion medicine, he couldn't even donate his own blood. It is for the person who is reading this to understand that the reason why it's because he was Black. And so now they're saying, well, let's get more people to donate blood, because we are going to be able to do what he couldn't do. So we are promoting this. The notion is to get people to come to our website so we can talk to them about donating blood and develop what we call a culture of blood donation in our community. And once we have spoken to them, we'll direct them to the Canadian Blood Services site with our PFL number. So once they donate the blood, that blood is going to be used for sickle cell patients. My goal in this research is to make Alberta a net supplier of blood for sickle cell patients. We could probably do it for across Canada, and then who knows, we'll find people from France and England coming to us to get blood instead of it being the other way around. Next slide, please.
Excuse me, Dr. Walren, I just need to interject. We're kind of running a little bit late on time. So I'm not sure how much longer this will be, but I do know that you have your financial report also that you'll have to present.
Can I just continue? Funding, AGLC is one of our major donors. They're going to go back on stream with respect to funding us with respect to our casinos. Donations, we have been very successful this year, and we have been able to get someone donated to us $5,000, and this was excellent. We have our endowment fund, which I'll talk about when we do the treasurer's report. Contributions, we have contributed money to the community fund so that the community will benefit because of a project that Edmonton Community Foundation has, that everyone in our community, the Black community specifically, will be able to have access to those funds. We need to raise $5 million for a research chair. I wouldn't say any more about that. Let's keep going, please. Okay, the future. Because we have had patients' health and patients complaining, and we've seen that medical journals like the New England Journal of Medicine is talking about the disparities in health, we have been fortunate to have a proposal, not a proposal, call for a proposal from the Canada Public Health Agency of Canada. So between us and the national, we're going to apply for funds to look at this problem that we have here. Sit and see if we can help to influence policy. City University volunteers, we're going to have them coming along with us to do, each City University student will be able to do their volunteer hours in psychology with Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta, something that we strove to have before and now that we are able to do. Conferences we continue to have. Sickle Cell Community Consortium in the States, we are a member of that organization. So we get information directly from the States about what is happening with respect to sickle cell anemia. And also we have linkages with the American and the International Sickle Cell Disease Association. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so what I'm going to ask is for Arnold and Zubier and they to just give a short minute synopsis as to what we have doing, what we're doing with respect to the app and social media contact.
For sure, I'll try to keep this as short as possible. So yeah, thank you for giving me this minute or two to go through the app really quickly. So my name is Zabir, and I'm actually one of the individuals that's working under Dr. Warland in regards to the social media and the app concept. Our group has assessed the areas of opportunities where we wanted to promote awareness in the sickle cell to the younger population of audience between the ages of 17 and 35. Furthermore, we wanted to continue the ongoing blood donations of these individuals as opposed to just getting them to donate only once. Upon our assessment, we've understood that the use of technology can further interact with our intended user base to promote informative measures about sickle cell anemia. With the goal of having presence in social media, we could connect with potential individuals to the CBS network to create a seamless transition to donate blood. Some of the proposed solutions as of right now is the infographic videos, a day in the life of a sickle cell individual, and then social media presence such as TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube that was intended as before. Lastly, we wanted to have a partnership with corporations to help spread awareness and establish a relationship with. This can help both parties accomplish additional knowledge, greater outreach to various individuals on both platforms, and there's other resources such as donation matching and many more. As of currently, the Pint Size app has been redesigned a little bit differently and it's been tailored to the needs of the targeted individuals. Yeah, so like that's what's going on with the app currently at this stage. So it is really important to understand that we do need an audience base in order for the app to be successful. And the content in the app has to obviously tailor to both the needs of an individual wanting to donate blood, along with the individuals that are obviously experiencing sickle cell as well, anemia as well too, to obviously utilize that app as opposed to just tailoring it to one need. But yeah, that's currently like a quick synopsis about the app. I understand we're a little short on time, so that's why I try to make it as like concise as possible. But I'd love to hand this back over to Dr. Warland or someone. But if you got any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I believe we'll probably hand out a pamphlet or like a specific documentation in regards to like what's the step plans that we were doing. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Zubair. So, Dr. Walren, were you going to be presenting the financial report?
Carlisle is here.
Okay, Carlisle?
He's muted.
Can he hear us?
You have to unmute him. Felix?
He's not responding.
Okay, can you put up the financial report and he'll join us when...
Oh, he's there now.
And Felix, you have to unmute him because he's talking and we can't hear.
Trying to, it's not. There we go. Okay, yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I had some trouble logging in, so I was a bit late. Yeah.
Carlisle, you'll be presenting the financial report?
If you want to put up the financial report as you have it.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you want me to say something, Carlisle, or you want to continue?
I didn't have a chance to look at it, but you can start and I could quickly glance at it.
Okay, so last year for the year 2000, this report is as of December 2020. As you can see, we were still able to do work based on some of the funding that we had. Fortunately for us, this year, our funds have increased dramatically. I think that this year we were able to raise over $100,000 in work with respect to our day-to-day on our research work that we have been doing with respect to Sickle Cell Foundation. Felix, can you advance it to the page with respect to the notes to the financial statement? Okay, so the notes to the financial statement. Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta has $25,000 in our endowment fund, and that is held at the Edmonton Community Foundation. We also donated, we also found out from AGLC that when we host our casinos, we can put 50% of those proceeds into our endowment fund. As a fiscal agent, and I thank those who've come before us to ensure that those are in place, we now have access to more funding to do our research and educational work. We have also put aside another $1,000 in a community pot so that members of the Black community, that those funds that we were able to put there, I counted about 20 Black organizations who possibly could contribute to that fund. With that, it will be matched by a private donor. And then another one says they're going to give us $50,000. So we're looking at about 100, when we finish with this, so 50, something, about $100,000 we will get. And those funds will sit there and we will be able to access the interest on it, plus the Edmonton Community Foundation will donate more money for us. Because if you look at what we've gotten there, because we have $25,000 in an endowment fund at Edmonton Community Foundation, plus the other $1,000 that we have there as well. And because the work that we are doing right now is by Black people, for Black people, with Black people, they have been able to put forward $61,000 for our research, which is unbelievable. Both Biba and I took the Tri-Council Policy Statement certification and passed it. So now what we have now is opportunity to get our research projects peer reviewed, because that's a document that we have to hand in when we're looking for peer review. I continue to work with Concordia University Edmonton on the cultural, psychological, and social aspect of sickle cell anemia. And so we have a good relationship going. So in future, we should be able to see more money coming into our organizations. And like I said, someone donated $5,000 out of the clear blue sky, and that person came from Ontario. So that's the end of our report. If anybody wants to delve down further, they're happy to come and look at it at our convenience.
Yeah, one area I feel that we should strive to get funding should be AGLC. That's a very good source of funding, and you could get it on an annual basis.
Which one is that?
AGLC, the Gaming Commission. Yeah, we should strive to get into that every year.
No, they give it out every. We have get it every 18 months, and we are part of AGLC. We are part of them. The only reason why we should have had our casino in 2020, but because of COVID, they had to put everything forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's well taken care of.
Okay.
Any other questions about our financial report?
It looks like it looks okay to me. The convention has been followed, whoever put it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll have a motion to approve both the president's message and the financial report. So motion to approve the financial report as presented as at the June 12th, 2021 Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta AGM. Who would like to move that?
I so move.
Okay, Carlisle, and who's going to second? Let me see, no one.
I'll second it.
Okay, thanks, Hannah.
This Jean.
Okay, Jean.
Yeah.
And it is up now for voting. Okay, and so the next motion is to approve the president's report as presented at the June 12th, 2021 Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta AGM. And who would move that? Biba, thank you. And who's going to second?
I can second.
Okay, thank you, Abby. And so the poll will go up. Okay, so thank you. The poll has closed now. So now moving right along, we're going to look at and review the new bylaws. So Felix, if you can put up the bylaws, that would be great. So just the way this is, sorry, everyone. So really, sorry, everyone. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, so really the changes to the bylaws are bylaw 3, the duties of officers, bylaw 9, and we have included a bylaw 10. So if you go back, the biggest change to our bylaws are in bylaw 3, and it's just because we have a whole new set of officers that we didn't have before. So I will try to get through this quickly, but we do have to vote on it. And I know a lot of people have not seen the bylaws yet. Most of the people actually probably have because they got them before, but we'll just go through it quickly. So we will now have a president and chief operations officer, and that person, you can read what they will be doing. They'll be signing, they'll be responsible for the day-to-day duties. Oh, okay, and I guess right now it's all posted on the website also. So if you keep scrolling down, Felix. So we also have a chair of the board. We now also have a vice chair position. We have a research position. And then we also have a new position, which is the foundation ambassador, and that's the brand ambassador. We will be ushering in a new treasurer, and then we also will have a new secretary. But those two positions were there prior.
Bernice, I think that the president and the position of the chief operation will also be responsible for the research and education.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Jean. And then if we scroll down now to bylaw 9, really the biggest change here was that it was incomplete before. So that last line now reads when they shall be confirmed or in default of confirmation. Bylaw 10 is completely new to our bylaws. And so this is saying that we are in accordance with the Income Tax Act. Because if you go down to the line that says, however, the tax legislation does permit the charity to reimburse its directors for any expenses they incur while performing their duties. So that's probably the biggest change. And that's probably all I'm going to say about it. And these can be read on our website if you want to read them. The one thing I just want to know from anyone who's here, any questions, concerns about the amendments?
What happened is that previous to this, our bylaws, as you said, was missing. I don't have control of what we're looking at right now.
Right.
It stopped up somewhere around here and didn't get completed.
Correct.
If you look here, you would notice that the document that supports this bylaw 10 was given to us on 2013, May 21st. So it's not completely new. It's something that they just didn't put into our bylaws because of omission.
Okay, and so now if people don't have questions, we do have to have a motion to accept the new bylaws. And so the motion is—
I so move.
Oh, okay. I'll read the motion first, Carla. Motion to approve the adoption of the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta Constitution and Bylaws June 12, 2021 document as the current and only constitution and bylaws for Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta. And so Carlisle, you move it, and who seconds it?
Yeah, I so move, yeah.
And who seconds it?
I'll second it.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Jean. Okay, and now it's for polling. Okay, so polling closed and motion was carried. So the last thing now that one of the last things is that we have to vote in the new membership, and we're going to vote them in one slate. As you can see, because of the fact that we changed our bylaws, that meant that we had to have new positions come in that we did not originally have. So currently, we have some of the new members present today. I
have an email from the treasurer saying he accepts the position, and also my communication with the chair, Dr. Akabuto, he's also accepting the position. So he was busy today and couldn't attend.
Okay, and that's great, Jean. My only concern is if we have enough other members to pass it. That's my only concern right now.
I don't understand.
Because you, Hannah, Abby.
We have a quorum.
And you, Hannah, Abby, and Dr. Turner, though, are part of the slate of people. Yeah. So I don't believe you can vote for yourself.
Princess is here.
And so is Carlisle.
And Carlisle is here.
So that's 2.
And Carlisle. Princess is here.
Right, and Carlisle, so that's 2.
Hannah is, okay, and then what's his name? Abby is here.
Abby's on the slate.
I don't believe that. No. If you want to go about it that way, then we vote each person individually.
Okay. So, okay, I just didn't write the motion that way. I wrote it as once late. That's just how I wrote it. So the motion was to approve the election of the following new directors onto the Sickle Cell Foundation of Alberta Board of Directors by acclamation. So the President and Chief Operations Officer would be Dr. Jean Walren. The Chair would be Dr. John Akabutu. The Treasurer would be Mr. Glenn Stewart. The Secretary would be Ms. Hannah Echeeme. And the Brand Ambassador would be Dr. Robert Turner. The Calgary Director would be Abiodun Abi Adeniran. So that is the motion that I put forward. So who moves the motion?
Carlyle, are you willing to move the motion?
Yes, I would move the motion.
Okay,
The motion be adopted as presented.
Okay, and who seconds it?
I do.
Okay, thanks, Princess. And then, yeah, up for voting. Okay, so it carried. So that concludes the formal AGM section.
Before we conclude, I wanted, Bernice is resigning from her position and she is leaving the organization altogether. I want to thank her for the time that she has given to the organization. As you can see, it's usually not very easy to get people to come on board to work with organizations these days, because many people have, a limited amount of time that they can devote to organizations. So I wish to really thank her for the work that she has put in, and thank all the others who have come in the past to make the organization as successful, but not only as successful, but well respected in the outside community. So thank you very much, Bernice. And I would like to move a motion. We thank Bernice officially for her work that she's done for the organization.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Jean. I was going to say thank you to everyone. It's been great serving. I want to say thank you to the current members of the board, and thank you to everybody who was part of the planning committee for today's AGM.